Now, will you want your kids to come back to Africa?
When I have conversations about Africa with them, I know that it will be difficult for them to live here full time, but I would want them to contribute something to Africa.
It's time to talk.
Please join me as we make welcome this handsome gentleman.
Thank you.
Please tell us your name.
My name is Benjamin Mensah.
Okay, it's nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes, you look very handsome and very young. So what do you do?
I'm an investment banker by profession.
Okay.
I have traveled the world, spent quite a lot of time in the Middle East, working there for about 12, 15 years. Also have family in the UK, so I spend my time in the UK. I'm a well-traveled individual. But like anybody else in the diaspora, the intention is to come back home. I've always made sure that I travel back to Ghana, where I'm from. So, you know, I do a lot of business as part of everything else that I do. But the important thing is home is home. And what I do is trying to create experiences, you know, that I've potentially been savvy to in the West, in Africa. And in a nutshell, that's what we do. Yeah.
Now, when you say home is home, people always say that. When you stay overseas for a long time, you come back and say home is because probably you don't want people to go, or people think, oh, that must not, that, you know, like you're hiding something. People say this word because they have stayed overseas for a while. Now, what will you say for those that are planning to travel without a reason?
Well, I think when you look at experiences, you know, in a life cycle, I think a lot of the times individuals evolve, right? We've all had opportunities of studying abroad, living in various countries. I think travel is a great experience to have.
Sure.
But we never forget where we've come from. So I'm always keen, especially with the youth, to see individuals who want to go gain further experience, study something, and be able to bring it back home. You know, because we have a beautiful continent in Africa. I could live in London any time, but I'm not guaranteed the weather. You know, so because of that, I think it makes sense that no matter where you are from in Africa, you're able to go learn what you have to learn and bring that experience to Africa. That's right.
Now, will you want your kids to come back to Africa? Will you want that?
It's quite an interesting question you asked there. There's a bit of a bittersweet story in there.
Yeah.
You know, my kids are mixed race, and I find that a lot of the times, you know, where you live, it's your home.
Yeah.
So when I have conversations about Africa with them, I know that it will be difficult for them to live here full time, but I would want them to contribute something to Africa. And that's important to me, and I'm sure it's important to them as well.
We'll be right back.
Catch up on our weekly programs on the Kaine Kranda show, from pillow talk to talk shows and kitchen sessions. The streets are not left out, as we also engage via our street hangouts and student dialogue. Entertainment at its peak with music star and sports review with a host of other exciting programs. Tune into our YouTube channel and other social media channels at the Kaine Kranda show to stay engaged all day long.
Now, talking about business, do you help people to develop their business ideas?
Yes, because again, it's really important that within the industry that we operate in, we work with lots of vendors and partners. And the only way you can have a sustainable business is to develop talent and develop partnerships. So yes, we do. From time to time, you know, if we've got a vendor that we're working with who needs some support, and we're more than happy to support them, and we do it on a consistent basis because it makes them better business people, which in the end benefits us.
Yeah, I would like you to say a word for those people that are trying to come back home and they're so scared.
Well, you see, the thing is, there is an element of fear in everything that you try and embark on. The Africa that we knew many years ago is not the Africa that we've got today. So there's no fear in coming back home. And I'm sure most people who've lived outside Africa could understand and appreciate that. There's the fear of what am I coming back to, right? And what I say to people a lot of the times is just look at what you're good at, you know, and you know, bring it back. Because nobody can do it better than you. You know, so you come in, you look at exactly what you're good at, you tweak a few things, add value to what you've got, and just replicate it. And I think that's the best way of looking at it.
That's beautiful. Now, the last question, please. Is it possible to make Africa close to what we have outside?
I think it's really possible, but we all need to play our part. right? Because I think a lot of times we talk about leadership, but we all need to, in our small way, if it's hospitality that you want to do, if it's a taxi service business that you want to do, you just need to make sure that you're the best at doing that and do it properly. Because that's the only way we can kind of pull resource and grow Africa.
Thank you so much. I hope you have something to go with, and I hope you were inspired. So if you're in diaspora and you're trying to come back home, you don't have to fear. I mean, there's opportunity, and then the ground is still fertile, yo. There's something you can still do. Till we come your way again, keep subscribing and follow. Bye for now.
It's time to talk.